let's come into your breath. Just take yourself a great big inhale and expand your lungs. Feel yourself kind of break open some air sacs or something in there, and exhale and get all the old air out, bringing that belly button to the spine. And then one more great big conscious inhale, clear energy. And exhale, grounding down. Good. Let's just continue breathing in and breathing out. It's all I want you to think about here is breathing in, breathing out. Follow the breath through your nostrils, breathing in, breathing out. Feel your nervous system already balancing out, becoming calm, becoming neutral. All it took was a few breaths, a few conscious breaths. If you could just practice this. Me too. Practice the conscious breath, that it brings you balance, and it brings you into the moment, and it brings you into clarity. And when you're just clearing your mind by breathing in and breathing out, you make space to hear your inner self guiding you. Just breathing in and breathing out. We're going to talk about the ego like it goes on pause when you just concentrate on your breathing in and breathing out. And you can even think about the ego right then as like, was the ego dragging me out into the material world? Was I all about everything that was going on the outside? And breathing in and breathing out. And usually, you get a yes to that. And you know that when you're breathing in and breathing out, you're now tuned in to the inside. And it's not that we can't deny the ego, we have to embrace the ego. This is like our teacher. This is our lesson giver. And it's just up to us how long it takes to get the lesson, to figure it out. And yesterday I kind of figured it out a whole bunch and just became really comfortable with it. And I wrote a bunch of it down. And it was an interesting, I call it a recipe for awakening. For me, personally, I had such a beautiful day, a beautiful moment of everything explaining itself to me. But it's not just yesterday. It's been a build-up, everything that I've studied in the past and tried to sink in and get comfortable with it and trust it. And this is how it taught me how to trust it. And which sort of took away all my fear at that moment. I felt as if I trusted everything as it is because it is what it is. And it's like you kind of get it for a second or two. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I want to keep this. I want to be able to have this knowing, this feeling, anytime any drama comes up. And so I instantly introduced fear again, worried that I was going to lose how to get that feeling back of just knowing everything is what it is. And I laughed at myself. I'm like, boy, that was fast. That was so fast how I doubted myself and wished I could have this next time there's a drama. And it's like I even invented an invisible drama ahead of time. Instead of just being right there in that moment, and then and I realized what I just did, and it made me laugh. And that laugh is what Ram Dass calls the cosmic giggle. When you can laugh at yourself for your silly behavior and also embrace the rascal inside of you, the ego, for teaching you. And like becoming one right then. It's like, oh, I get it. This rascal is not separate from me. It is part of me. And even in the Jewish traditions, they have a term for it, and it's called the Yetzar Hara. And it's a spirit that God put into Adam, and it's called the wayward spirit. And it's a little rascal. And everyone has it in them, like a pinch of salt in the stew. And so if you could embrace like that family rascal, there's somebody that soul family rascal that just teases you, but with affection. And it helps you to grow. And then it becomes something that you love that they tease you about. It's like, my grandpa used to tease me all the time. And it was over one silly little moment where we went into a store together, and he knew the guy really well, and he goes, oh, and he was, I think, Chinese, and they were good friends. And so my grandpa would imitate his voice exactly like he sounded and would say, oh, is this your granddaughter? And my grandpa said, yeah. And he goes, oh, very pretty little girl. Make all the boys go, woo, woo. And every time I talked to my grandpa, he would lovingly retell me that story. And it was just like, oh, here comes the story. And just lovingly teasing you. And it's just yourself lovingly teasing you to help you to get it that we're taking life much too seriously. And you're not a separate from anything or anyone. You're just this ever evolving and changing and growing mass of energy, having these little experiences like antennas going on, and always changing. And the change then, part of the change, and this is the part that helped me to get it so well, is the way that Ram Dass in the book Path to God, I think it's called Path to God, and it's all about the Bhagavad Gita and living the Bhagavad Gita, which is an ancient book about Krishna and Arjuna. And Krishna is an avatar of God, and they're in a battle, and Arjuna turns to him for some guidance, like, what do I do in this battle? I'm fighting my own family. And Krishna says, like, listen to your inner voice. Quit listening to all that programming you had to be separate from everyone. Listen. It'll tell you the answer. And realizing that we're all one, and like just killing each other is such a waste. It's such a symbol of separation. So Arjuna, the one who's asking Krishna the advice of what to do in the fight, as a kid, he was a real charismatic, funny little rascal. He teased people and they loved him for it. He did it in such a kind way. And so possibly Arjuna is in his state of separatism is the ego in us, or his ego shining, or more in balance, or more tipping the balance to the ego. And listening to all the programming from our upbringing of everything is separate from us. The way you were instantly labeled as a little girl, a little boy, white, black, whatever, starts separating you right away. Instead of just letting everybody come from the heart. So the first picture I saw in the morning, this goes back to the recipe for starting yesterday, because a lot of that is work that I've been building up to this. And this is what helped me get it so much with these signs, these symbols that were coming to me, and they meant so much. I'm like, I'm taking a picture of that. I'm saving that. I want to go back to that and learn that really well and be confident with that. And the first one was, you make your life hard by always being in your head. Life is simple. Get out of your head and get into the moment. By S. McNutt. So, present moment. How do we get to the present moment? Breathing in and breathing out. So let's come to our breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Get centered. Thinking of breathing in as pulling up some energy, waking you up, and exhale, grounding down anything negative. Thinking of yourself as the grounding rod. I really love this, what we got on Wednesday's class. Just think of yourself as a big, strong grounding rod in the ground, and you're saying, come on, lightning, shoot me. And it comes in through you, through an inhale. And you exhale anything that you're discharging, you're grounding down, you're sending that energy down into the ground and up and around you. So you're just visually doing this, but include the breath and feel yourself grounding down. Take in the energy and ground down. See an image of yourself pulling energy up from your pubic bone, possibly with your hands in front of your pubic bone, the backs of your fingers together, pulling up right through. This is called the Chakra Wash, and pulling the backs of the hands up and over the top of the head and exhaling out and down. Just feel what it would feel like. You don't have to do this physically. Just imagine you're making this motion and bringing the hands back together, up in the front, right up over the face. Big inhale, up out of the head. Exhale down, out and around you, clearing your energy field. Pulling energy up with your inhale, aligning. See your energy centers shining, balanced, and open. Come into this moment and just listen to the sounds. Breathe. Feel the energy around you. Breathe right up and down the middle of your spine. And exhale, grounding down. Feeling very balanced, very neutral, very clear, energized, open, full of light. Just be ready to receive this second part of the talk. So, you're out of your head now. Life is simple. And this is a quote, the next quote I read from Confucius. We have two lives, and the second one begins when we realize we only have one. And we could change the word have to are. We only are one. Having changes going on. And then a very powerful quote. And I can't say this guy's name right, but I've watched movies about him. He's so cute. Ramana Smriti. And I don't know how to say that last word right. But he says, your hands may do the work, but your mind can remain still. You are that which never moves. So, get centered, get balanced, get into the spot that never moves, and build energy there. To me, I feel it in the center of my chest. It may be somewhere different to you. Right in the middle. You can build loving thoughts. Sending love out and sending love in. So with your hands, may you do the work, but your mind can remain still. You are that which never moves. Feel that perfect feeling right there that you are feeling, getting centered. Be open. Just opening your senses. Be very aware. Listen. Listen for loving words and guidance. So when I read that quote, it made me think about the book or the video I saw and the stuff I studied about The Man with No Head by Douglas Harding. So I re-listened to the original video while I was cleaning the cabin and thinking about being a man with no head. I was just watching my arms and legs work, and I was up in the loft, and it was very tight, and I was sweeping up there, all bent over, and just looking at my arms and legs while I was sweeping, and just listening to this guidance of being the man with no head. And we've done that meditation before, where the man with no head is just observing. You're just observing life. And it just unfolds sweetly in front of you. And you just flow with life that way. And so I was at this really great state of acceptance and just being in the moment, and started listening to The Path to God by Ram Dass again. That I started, and I had to stop it because it was getting so good. I wanted to go back and rewind it and listen to it some more, about how to train a child, and how we've been raised and how we've been programmed that everything we need is on the outside of us, that we must please others, that we must conform to society, that we get a reward if we do good by other people's standards, even though something that those trusted people tell us doesn't seem right to us on the inside. We have to trust that inner voice and stand up for it. It's trying to tell you something. And you don't have to fear what those other people who are conformed and trying to conform you don't have to worry about what they think. You're living your experience your way. And you have no regrets. Everything has happened for this moment right here, right now. And if you can forgive the past, and Mitch told me today the definition of forgiveness is remember no more. If you can forgive the past and what you perceive that it did to you, just like thank it. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for the lessons, because my perception is coming from victimhood if I've believed the past was bad. But it was all just part of the lesson of the ego trying to guide me to this point right now where I'm so present, and I'm starting to accept some big ideas. And my friend Sean told me about this book, and I had just got done listening to Being Ram Dass. And I've been on a big Ram Dass kick for over a year now, after I saw him in my big Joe Dispenza meditation. And I just love his lessons, and I know them, a lot of them really well, and I can apply them a lot in my life. And they're all just the same stories as like Arjuna and Krishna. They're just stories. And they all can remind you of another story you know, or something that happened to you. But my friend Sean, who gave me the book, said, just wait until chapter 3. Oh my gosh. And I had to already restart half of chapter 2 because I wanted to listen to it again. And then I went on into 3, and he was so right. So Sean is a past life regressionist. And he helped me see 3 of my past lives in what seemed like a very short amount of time, but it took a long time. And it was very interesting to just be observing this voice kind of coming out of my head and the visions I was seeing and the data that I gave and how it lined up when I checked it out. And so that would mean that I would have to believe in past life stuff, at least into this moment where I just realize everything is just this moment. But this moment has many layers and levels, and they call them dimensions. And they're all going on at the same time. And they're all one. So it sounds like many dimensions, many levels, all one, somewhat like an egg with the shell, the white, and the yolk. It's an egg. But it has these levels. And so if you're believing in past lives, then that basically says you believe in reincarnation. And I thought, oh, that's why Sean liked it, because Sean is a past life regressionist, and here he's getting some awesome validation about reincarnation, which I've believed in for a long time. I've been trying to remember when was the first time I believed in reincarnation, and I think it was listening to Dr. Weiss on the Oprah show. And I never watched the Oprah show, but it was on at night for some reason, and he was on, and I got to listen to it. And it was amazing about the past life regression that he's doing. So I got into studying that. I totally believe it. And I had other past life readings since then. This all started in about 2010, 11, where I started asking some big questions. And I full on accept and believe in reincarnation until just this last year. Just like in October, Alan Watts says the Zen Buddhists don't believe in reincarnation because you're not the same person you were just 2 minutes ago. This is this moment right here, right now. That's pretty much all they believe in. So reincarnation, I have to just like save a burner for it. It's like, I'm going to, my ego right now is saying, well, I could jump into the Mormon one if it all goes down and I believe in the celestial kingdom, and thank God my parents sealed me in the temple. There's that insurance policy. Or I really believe in Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, and Christianity. Full on believe in Christ consciousness. And so if it all goes down, it's one of those. I'm good, and I do believe in Native American spirituality. So that too. I'm good. I'm golden there. They're all good. It's all good. But I do, after having those very interesting past life regressions and doing the background check on it, very convinced. And Ram Dass says that his guru, Maharaji, taught him about reincarnation. Like he says he just took it for granted, like that's what it is. It's just like there is no other thing but. And it just got taken out of the Bible, and he explains that in the book here. And he talked about how Jesus said that John the Baptist used to be Elijah, like in a past life, and other stuff about blind people being born blind, and that was like karma from a past life, and they were trying to explain it. So Maharishi just tells him it's just reincarnation. You're going to have another life. This is just an experience. This is just a day at school at Earth. And you're here to learn. And Ram Dass said he quit saying this to people like, really? Are you sure? Because everyone just always spoke the truth and just knew it so wholeheartedly that he just finally stopped saying, really? Are you sure? He quit guessing them and just like, yeah, man, that. I get it. I believe you. I trust you as my teacher who knows everything about me before I even meet you. I'm so convinced. If you're convinced, I'm convinced. It's good enough for me. And then the way that Ram Dass explained that, I was full on, convinced at that moment. It's like, it just is what it is. And it was like a big boom vibration that went through me, like everything just is what it is in this exact moment. And that's it. And bring everything into balance with your breath, with that big knowing. Just make room for it. Breathing in. It is what it is. Breathing out. Acceptance. Breathing in. It is what it is. Breathing out. Right now. Breathing in. Right now. Exhaling. It is what it is. And another quote I've been studying a lot lately, it says, being okay with what happens is a very powerful place to be. And I added to it and I said, being okay with what happened, past tense, it was what it was. It just was what it was. It's not what it is now. Not now. It was what it was. Forgive it, which means remember it no more. Let go of it. And you're making space inside yourself for your soul to grow and expand. And I am so excited for this book because Sean says it gets even better. He was like on chapter 7 and I can hear this amazing energetic change in his voice. And I want what he's got right there. I want that. I've had it, and but it sounds like he's got it and holding on to it, and then another interesting thing he started doing at the same time was he started going to yoga, and so he's moving it through his body, and working it into his soul with the yoga and practice and just learning this amazing book at this moment right now. And so I want you to soak it in, whatever is true to you, that you full on believe in. It doesn't have to be reincarnation, but it sure helps with the death part, where you don't fear death when you believe in reincarnation. You realize that it's nothing to be afraid of. It's like taking off the tight shoe. Like, spread your toes. Whew. Yay. Glad that's over. And feeling 100% you. And you can just come to that feeling. It's like, I could just let go of everything because I am going to have to someday. And by everything, I mean attachments. Imaginary things that we are holding ourselves down with, these attachments. Have to carry that stuff everywhere with us. Things that we have a hard time forgiving. And realizing it was actually just you learning the lesson. And sometimes the really long and hard way. When it is quite simple to just forgive and remember no more. I do like looking in the rearview mirror there and seeing how it all lined up. If that didn't happen, then this couldn't have happened, and that couldn't happen, and then this moment right here couldn't happen. So, wow, I'm so glad that that first blow-up thing happened that moved some energy, and my choice making, and that this is where I've ended up. And just being in this moment and breathe in and breathe out. And trust what you trust. Trust it big and feel it in your heart. You know this belief, whatever it is. Feel how big you are. Feel how you can manifest anything with your clear thinking and your good intentions. They are heartfelt intentions that you set before yoga nidra usually. This time we just jumped right into it. So if you want to dedicate this practice that you just took in today, or set an intention for it, think about what it is you really, really want. With this new, amazing space you have in your mind, you just let go of some heavy baggage. You now have space to create dreams. Listen for guidance. A way to ask is, well, you're just going to have to figure out your own, but I was just doing my own here, and I was saying, should I, and just leave it open, like, and then listen for what I should do, because that's a word I use, and I know some people really don't like to be shoulded. You should do this, and you should do that, but I say it a lot, and that's just part of my style, and I think I can say, I should, and just sit there and listen and get a great answer of something I should do, even if it's relax. So I should So I'm getting, I should send heart math. I should connect my heart center and my breath. Build love in your heart. This vibration is what's going to save the world. Building love. What do you want to have happen in your life? And just see it coming to you with all this beautiful space you have made by forgiving, remembering no more. You got rid of those files. You're lovingly accepting yourself and trusting what is. And you're in this moment, right here, right now. Breathing in and breathing out. Balancing yourself. Coming into neutral. And just opening up for any guidance. I love the end of one of Joe Dispenza's meditators that they hook up to all the devices and everything. And she was a doctor. And she wanted everyone to see. She goes, everyone can do this. He's just proving it scientifically here. And they could tell when they were going to go into deep meditation, and just by looking at their brain waves. And the scientists that were there just watching said, it looks like she's having a seizure by the readout of her brain waves. And they said, nope, she's just about ready to go into coherence. And then everything lined up and started moving slowly, and she was gone and having an experience. And when she came out, she said, I just wanted everyone to know that they could do this. What she heard was, welcome. We've been here the whole time. Like what you were seeking has been inside you this whole time. And loving that. Accepting that. One of the things you just got to trust. Also similar with the surrender experiment. Just trust it full on, whatever life is handing to you. This is the little story you designed, and you can resist it or you can go with the flow. And one way to tell is if it makes you happy. And bring that happy feeling into your heart. Bring your heartfelt intention to mind. Send this love out from your heart to whatever it is you desire. And feeling very peaceful, super relaxed. And just coming back into your breath and back into the body and back into the room. Come back into the sounds of the room. Loving that sweet, heartfelt intention. Loving this knowing that you're just trusting the universe. That you have no fear. That you really know everything is what it is as it is. Because on the David Hawkins chart, the very top line of life view is is. So if you can view life just as it is, look at this moment. Feel the energy around you in this moment. Just loving this and bringing it into your body, taking an inhale, sucking it up. Oh, coming back into the room, into your body, into your breath. Ooh, loving this moment. Trusting this moment. Surrendering to this moment. Not taking this moment so seriously. It's very equal. It's not right, it's not wrong, it just is what it is. It's not separate, it's all connected. And when you're ready, you can roll on your right side and hit snooze and close your eyes so you don't get blinded. Is what it is. I'll accept that. When you're ready to rise up like your grounding rod and ground down, and I may be speaking just for myself here, but like, come on, energy, charge me up. Shine my cells with big, expanded, bright, bright light, color. And bring our hands together and think about that heartfelt intention again. It was like slip it in at the end of class, but still very powerful, especially with the open mind that we had at the time, and just honoring that heartfelt intention that you have and honoring each other for sharing this space, and know that I'm really grateful for you guys and everyone involved in my big learning this week. I honor everything, everyone as one. Namaste. 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 Oh, you guys, that's great.